Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram, and in this particular cricket show we are going to look at the second day's play in the match between Bangladesh and West Indies, where Bangladesh are almost done a great job here because they have replied with 455 for 6 at close of play, a maiden century for Naeem Hassan. I'm just going to check that. Yes, it was Naeem Islam who actually got a century. It was his maiden century. Shakib al played an attacking innings of 89, and then all the Bangladesh batsmen chipped in, and then now they are 455 for 6 at close of play. But what is very important is that the highest score that Bangladesh has made in Test cricket is around, I think, 488. So tomorrow, I think it's a strong possibility that Bangladesh will actually usurp that total and go on to make their highest total in Test cricket, because 488 is the highest score that Bangladesh has made in Test cricket. So they can absolutely surpass that, and not only that, they might also go and try to surpass the total that West Indies have put on the board, because now it's a real possibility with the score on 455 for 6 at close of play, with West Indies making 527 and declaring. So they are just 72 runs away, and let me tell you, all the batsmen have contributed. Just talking about the day's play, since I have been just talking, well, I have been just putting into shade what India did against England on the first day of the first test, where India are in a very, very commanding position at 323 for 4, basically telling England that this is the way to go, and probably signaling to England that India are all in for it, and they would like to give it back to England in this series, what England dished out to them in their homeland. But well, there is a lot of things to do, because I will be talking about that. But right now, let me just continue with the Bangladesh-West Indies game, where the way Naeem Islam and Shakib al Hasan batted, in fact, they put up the fourth wicket partnership, and the fourth wicket partnership yielded 167 runs. As I said yesterday, that was very vital, the Shakib al Hasan and Naeem Islam, but not only Shakib al Hasan, who missed his century making 89. He was his attacking self. He started attacking the bowlers, starting hitting a lot of boundaries. In fact, he had 10 fours and 1 6 in a knock of 89. But Naeem Islam was the man who went on to a century, got his maiden century, and let me tell you, it was a very well constructed interest. Now, Naeem Islam, this was his maiden ton, so that is going to give him ounces of confidence, and this is looking like a real Bangladesh team, really wanting to say that, let me also tell you one more fact here, that Bangladesh are playing their first ever test in 2012. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. In the month of November, they play their first test match in 2012, because all the while they have been playing 2020 cricket and probably the one day, the limited overs international cricket. So this is something which is, I think it has to be really seriously viewed. Bangladesh are themselves very, very concerned about it. That is not a way. Bangladesh just won test match in 2012. But they have put up a great show here, according to me. And Naeem Islam is looking absolutely confident. And what was good about him was really took his time at the crease, played out the first session, played out the second session, then opened out in the third, in the latter stages of his game. And later on, he also hit some very good boundaries. In fact, he had 17 boundaries in that score of 108. His maiden ton of 255 balls with 17 for Shakib al Hasan, as I said, it was his attacking innings from him, 89 with 10 fours and 1 6, and then Mushfiqur Rahim, the captain, came in and joined Naeem Islam, and he too contributed by taking the score from 286 to 362. The captain's contribution was 43. Veerasamy Permal, the spinner from West Indies, getting his debut wicket there. He was making his debut, so he got his first test wicket in international cricket, when Mushfiqur Rahim was caught on board by Permal for 43 with 7 fours and 1 6. And then that was the time when the score read 368 for 6, and probably West Indies would have sensed that this is the time for them to attack the Bangladeshi batsmen and probably get things under control. But was not to be. In fact, West Indies had no regard till the end of the day on the second day, with Bangladesh finishing at a very, very good score. In fact, stumps on day 3, I'm sorry about that. Bangladesh are just 72 runs away from the West Indies score of 527, and as I said, tomorrow the Bangladeshi fans would be hoping that Bangladesh could overtake. Definitely they should be overtaking their highest ever total in Test cricket, and that was 488 if I'm not wrong. And I'm sure with only 33 runs, 32 or 33 runs more to get, Bangladesh will definitely doing that. But what a way they played. All the batsmen chipped in. Look at it. At the close of play, Nasir Hussain was looking very elegant with 33, with 1-4 and 1-6. Mahmudullah was showing some great authority there, making unbeaten 42 with 3 fours and 1 6. This is what Bangladeshi fans have been wanting, and this is what Bangladesh have done. They have put up a good display here. 455 for 6, only 72 runs more to take the lead in the second test, even though it looks like, I mean, and the pitch was absolutely flat. One has to really agree to that. There's not much in it for the bowlers. Rampal was successful, 3 for 101. 2 for 83 for Darren Sammy, 1 for 60 for Veersamy Parmal, who got his first international wicket here. Well, on this note, real dear fans, now I'm going to take you down to the Motera Stadium in Ahmedabad, where it kicked off proceedings with India winning the toss. But as far as India were concerned, well, India were having a good combination, but it was a bit surprising to see that England decided to drop Monty Panesar. And but tomorrow, I mean, they decided to drop Monty Panesar, but the Indian batsmen were absolutely over the English bowlers, and Virendra Sehwag was the one who led the way. It was a bit surprising when Monty Panesar was dropped, and probably they would be looking at that, but I'll come to that later. In fact, India started off with Gambhir and Sehwag coming as openers, and after a long time, it has been a pretty long time, but Gambhir and Sehwag really put up a very good partnership, and here they did. In fact, before lunch, they had 120 on the board, thanks to Virendra Sehwag, who was looking absolutely good. In fact, James Anderson was reduced to nothing. In fact, he has to be removed after 4 overs with the new cherry because of Sehwag actually hitting him to all parts of the ground. In fact, Sehwag pasted all the English bowlers to all parts of the field, whether it is Anderson, Broad, Bresnan, Graham Swann or Samit Patel. And Sehwag was absolutely tremendous. In that partnership of 134 was the 134 runs was the total partnership that Gambhir and Sehwag gave for the opening wicket, with Gambhir being a victim of Graham Swann, and Gambhir was a victim of Graham Swann. Graham Swann was the bowler who really took a, I wouldn't say a stranglehold, but definitely he worried the Indian batsmen. In fact, he had the best analysis: 32 overs, 5 maidens, 85 runs, and all the 4 wickets that fall. India were 323 for 4 at close of play on the first day of the first test match being played against England here at the Sardar Patel Stadium, Motera in Ahmedabad. And Graham Swann was the one who took all the 4 Indian wickets that fell yesterday. First he took Gautam Gambhir, was clean bowled by Swann for 45 with 4 boundaries. Then Graham Swann also took the wicket of Virendra Sehwag. Now Virendra Sehwag, let me tell you, he was a really blustering innings from Virendra Sehwag. 117 of as many balls. It was absolute typical one-day cricket, because the way things were going, when one was seeing, like in the 20th over, India had 100 on the board. So that really gives you the story. And you know, Virendra Sehwag definitely, after lunch, he decided to just go into his shell and probably wanted to take his time, but he did that, and then finally he was out sweeping, trying to sweep Graham Swann. He was bowled, clean bowled by Graham Swann for 117 of as many balls with 15 fours and 1 6, but that was 1 century, and one more person was almost close to a century at close of play, and that was Cheteshwar Pujara, who is now coming on to his 2nd century in Test cricket, and he was looking good. He was basically absolutely, one would say, a person who was very, he's a very technically perfect player. He took his time at the crease. In fact, he just carved out 98 runs. In fact, he had an unbeaten 98 to his name when stumps were drawn for the day on the first day, with Cheteshwar Pujara not out on 98 with 13 fours, and keeping him company was Yuvraj Singh, who was looking good on an unbeaten 24 with 2 boundaries. 13 fours in Cheteshwar Pujara's knock. But as said, he is a technically proficient batsman. He showed us why, and he would be definitely wanting to get to that magical mark early in the morning today on the 2nd day. Sachin Tendulkar, well, one thing that was good to see about Sachin Tendulkar was that today he didn't give away his wicket to the pace bowlers. In fact, his wicket went to a very strange shot, because just before tea he tried to loft Graham Swann, but all he could do is loft it into the hands of mid-on, and it was Samit Patel who gleefully held the catch, and Sachin Tendulkar was walking for 13 with 2 boundaries. And Virat Kohli made 19 runs before being a victim of Graham Swann when he was clean bowled for 3-4. So that Graham Swann was the one who did the trick here, and I'll be talking about that. 323 for 4 was what India finished with. The whole 90 overs were bowled at Ahmedabad today, and as I said, Cheteshwar Pujara had an unbeaten 98 to his name with 13 boundaries. Yuvraj Singh keeping him company, not out on 24 of 47 balls with 2 fours. Just talking about the bowling figures, James Anderson, 17 overs, 3 men and none for 66. He was really put out of action by Sehwag in the first 4 overs when his 4 overs went for 24 runs. Stuart Broad, 17 overs, 1 maiden, none for 71. Bresnan was again taken apart. 10 overs cost him 56 runs without a wicket. But Graham Swann was the bowler of the day. For England, the only thing that they could really hold high is Graham Swann's bowling. 32 overs, 5 maidens, 85 runs and 4 wickets. Now let me tell you, one thing it shows, as I said very, very rightly in my preview, that Graham Swann is a world-class spinner. So India can't take chances. If at all the ball is going to turn, and it is going to be England who are going to bat last on this pitch. According to me, any team which bat last on this pitch is going to find it difficult. There's already turn available, and it is going to be doubly difficult. But where England will be ruining the fact that they decided to drop Monty Panesar, because Monty Panesar was a real class bowler and he has been dropped. So that is not so whether Samit Patel would be able to deliver the goods as what he has very well showed. I mean, he has done well in the 2 matches, but whether he can really reproduce that form and do it against the top-notch Indian batsmen, that remains to be seen. But well, yesterday he bowled 14 overs, 2 maidens, none for 39. I have a feeling that Monty Panesar's was really required, but probably the England think tank would have been feeling that Samit Patel has been batting very well, and that would playing as a batsman and a spinner, he would be greatly strengthening the England team. But well, one has to wait and watch what really happens. But Monty Panesar, I thought, on a turning track could be absolutely deadly. But well, probably England have other ideas. But that is one point of note that I would like to mention. But again, whether Samit Patel I really doubt whether I can't compare Samit Patel to Monty Panesar, because Monty Panesar is a ball, and if you give him a turning track, and I think Graham Swann and Monty Panesar would have been made a great pair. The left arm spin of Monty Panesar and the right arm off spinner Graham Swann would have got great variety, and I think that would have troubled the Indian batsman. But that is for England to really make note of here. But India finishing on a very strong position and also making a statement here, I would say, with Virendra Sehwag and Gautam Gambhir starting off proceedings on a very strong note with a 134-run partnership. Probably, as I said, they had a drubbing against England in England, but India have really started well. They have really sounded a sort of a warning to England that India are really baying for blood against England in this particular series. Well, 323 for 4 was what India finished with, and well, as I said, it all depends on Cheteshwar Pujara. Tomorrow he goes for his century, and how much more he can really contribute. There's Yuvraj Singh is there, Dhoni is yet to follow, then they still have Rajasthan Ashwin can bat. There's a lot of things, and India too have Ashwin and Oja into their ranks. Well, dear fans, friends and subscribers, on this note, on these 2 cricket matches report today, I am ending my cricket report for today, and I'll be seeing you all guys tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye. Thank you.